Oh hey guys, Simon here. We're playing Anna Extended Edition, so I don't really know anything about this game. I think it's just an interactive story. The frame rate is also not very good. So blind playthrough, I think it's horror too. And I'm gonna try and warn you if I think there's gonna be jump scares. I'm gonna try and warn you, but hopefully I can predict them. But I might not be able to. Anyway, let's stop rambling and get into the game. New game. So, I can't adjust the volume of the audio neither. I'll still record the ecstasy of the sun piercing through the trees, while our hours passed along with the chanting of the wind blowing across the mountains. I hope that I had forgotten you forever and ever. Anna, my love. This is the house that keeps appearing in my nightmares. No doubt about it. I could count every single crevice. Ew. How did I end up here anyway? I feel as if I walked here in a trance. But now I'm past the gates. I must figure out why I keep dreaming about her. I'm in dire need of answers. Alright. So, yeah. So I think it's just an interactive story. I think it's horror. And as I was saying, I can't turn down the volume in the game. So the volume is blasting into my ears. And if there are any jump scares, I'm gonna get the full brunt of it. But I'm gonna try and warn you if I think there are gonna be jump scares. Like, this is really loud in my ears. The water is pristine and inviting. Gazing at its crystal clear surface almost makes you thirsty. Okay. But other than that, nothing in the brook. It's a broken water wheel. That's interesting. Let's just wander around a little bit. I guess I'll let the story tell itself. We're gonna click on everything, right? Ooh, butterflies. That's kinda cool. So for some reason the game runs better than the title screen. The title screen was running at like 15 frames a second. It's a lot smoother once we get into the game though, that's good. What is a pebble? Oh, okay, so there's inventory. And we can pick things up and use them. Am I sliding around a little bit? I am. Like if I go up against the fence, I just kind of get pushed out of again. That's kind of strange. But let's just keep staring at everything. It's quieter now that we... I already got one. It's quieter now that we are away from the brook over there with the water. A little string. It's tying up the doors. It shouldn't be that hard to cut it. Are you kidding me? You can't just break it? So the only controls in the game is WASD and mouse. So we don't need to do any sort of trick jumping, I don't think. There's no jump, there's no crouching, there's no guns, I don't think. What is that blue thing? What is that? Eye-shaped notch. A magnificent carving. Despite its simplicity, the etching was masterfully crafted. There is something inside. What is that? I can't see what it is. So... Oh, pressing I is the inventory, I see. Myself. Cigarette lighter, oh I see. Folding hunting knife. The game never tells you about your inventory though. Empty canteen. Notebook, mobile phone, documents, and pebble. Well... Empty canteen. Let's get some water from the really loud brook. The flask is full, great. And let's read the documents. What? Wait a minute. What's going on? Why can't I... Is it a glitch? Why can't I... The documents appear to be missing. Oh no. Is this a glitch? It seems to be a glitch. I'm not actually seeing any documents or anything appearing on screen. Well, that's end of the game. I guess I'll have to redo this somehow. Alright, I'll be back soon. Okay, so it looks like we just found the first bug in the game. I had to restart the game. Apparently this game has some issues with being stuck and bugs and things, so you should save often. Unfortunately I had to... well, I guess I didn't really read the walkthrough. I had to look up what was going on. So the documents don't work, for me at least. But there is a PDF in the game folder that apparently you're supposed to read before you start the game. So I'm gonna read it to you. I can't open it here. Unless no, I can't. I'm gonna read it to you and hopefully that's good enough. I hope I can alt-tab out and it'll keep recording. It might not. So, the document, or it's a notebook. Wow, it's a huge notebook. Wow. Alright, so it says, I can't sleep. I've got a splitting headache. I am waiting just to live through... I'm what? Hold on. What is that? I am... What is that word? Just to live through the discomfort. Anesthetics have been useless so far. The few moments of relief are constantly followed by sharp stabs of agony. While I'm in bed, this handwriting. I roll my head, trying to find a position that might stop or mitigate the pain, yet it has all been hopeless. Whenever I close my eyes, it sounds like I can hear the noise of the tree foliage caressed by the wind, as if they were composing a symphony using my sore bones. It looks like I can see images from that scene, the sky and the mountains. Oddly enough, my vision is blurred, but as so far I cannot recognize the place. I've got the feeling I've already been there. This migraine must be playing tricks on me. I despise the mountains and I wish to never go there. The few times I went up to the mountains, I didn't stay more than a single day. Never entered into the woods nor gone on hiking trails. I must nestle my head on a pillow. I'm feeling faint from the pain. Today's lesson shocked them. When I told them how it was common for a knight in the Middle Ages to rape poor countrywomen they met by chance walking alone on the streets, some of them stared at me. The girls especially seemed to be aghast and disturbed, as if I were telling them a fictitious story. Nevertheless, there are many an old song, usually not to be found in anthology schoolbooks, that extolled this practice and even glorified rape as a privilege of knighthood against women of what does that say? Something classes. In some knights romantically kneeled in front of damsels and gave what? Why did they choose this handwriting to young shepherdesses? 'Twas worse still when I told them that in some alpine communities rape was even a means to marry a woman. Beyond any formality, the raped woman was bound to become the bride of her abuser. Life wasn't easy back then, and there wasn't much time for courtship. Such behavior may seem I can't read these words, man. Seem something nowadays. Seeing it from a modern perspective. Yet what's more terrifying is how human beings have removed the memory of those horrors, and how they tend to willingly ignore them when put before their very eyes. I don't know why they choose this handwriting. I can't read this. To struggle with the feeling of disgust caused by the topic of said lesson I taught yesterday, some students have even begun to give me the title of Professor Pervert. Hadn't that bloody headache returned, I'd have even laughed at such a stupid and unfanciful nickname. It's true though, like in any kind of situation where one class of people have absolute power over other classes, obviously abuses are gonna happen. You know, you have noblemen who are the law, basically, and then you have peasants who have completely no rights. What, you don't think any of them would rape any of the others? Of course they would. That's the nature of absolute power. Anyway, today something peculiar happened while I was searching for some stuff, just some souvenirs, I guess, amidst a mess of old cardboard boxes in the cellar. I noticed an unfamiliar box half buried amongst the others. I often go down to the basement, but I had never noticed this before. I didn't even recognize it, therefore I promptly decided to find out what was inside. It wasn't an easy task to reach it. I had to move a couple of big boxes full of ethnic junk just to clear my way through. What for do I keep all this garbage? But eventually I managed to take it out of that heap. I found some photos inside. They've been put into a makeshift envelope made of sheets of manila paper tied with twine. A note nestled in the package which had completely turned yellow, and on the note was written Diagus Valley? Those photos can't be mine. I've never been in that place. In truth, I've never been in the Ulster Valley region at all. I don't know why, but discovering those photos filled me with uneasiness. I brought them home, but I didn't find the courage to look at them yet. I woke up several times tonight, each time I walked near the envelope containing the photos, convinced that I would open it. I always refrained from doing so. The headaches have returned, stronger than ever, with those visions of the trees. In the moments of the most intense pain, I believe I've even heard a voice, or mayhap with the whistlings? I can't sleep anymore. Why didn't I find the courage to look at those photos? Today I gave a terrible lecture, for I was in a gloomy mood, and my students took notice of it. Often I jabbered gibberish rather than teaching. I became aware of that, but I wasn't able to get a firm grip of myself. My thoughts were jumbled in my mouth. I don't know why, but I can't stop thinking about the photographs. In every single instant of the day, they say that all of a sudden I began to fix my gaze on one of the co-ed lasses. Marco, my assistant, told me that I stood frozen like that for an entire minute, remaining in silence. He said I had an absent state. What does it mean? Luckily I had pulled myself together and kept talking as if nothing happened. I can't remember anything. It was like a kind of blackout in my coherent stream of consciousness. I dreamt of her, as if my brain had concealed those moments, giving them back only while asleep. I didn't limit myself to only look at her. I got up and tightened my hands around her neck, choking her to death. How long did she last? The rest of the class was laughing coarsely. Assured to have killed her, I cast her on the floor and forced myself to go back to the teacher's desk, but she got up and embraced me. That warmth. I've experienced it before. My head is pounding. I cannot write anymore. Alright, well, this guy's kind of crazy. The mother sadness. I gave a lecture about... Oh, no, the mother goddess, my bad. The mother goddess. I gave a lecture about this particular topic today. When I introduced the concept of the escapisthes, they all burst into laughter. One immediately pointed out that it looked like a vagina. Yeah, 'cause it is. I complimented his observation, telling that he wasn't wrong, and in fact it symbolized maternity in general, and that each one of us originates from there. I also explained that in the Middle Ages, the escapisthes, also called mandala, was used to frame holy pictures of God. They burst out laughing again. They still do not fully realize that attempts to remove sexuality from culture is quite a recent scourge. Then I told them about the trapezoid, the 3 interlocked spirals, the 3 crescent moons, and other symbols. They seemed particularly interested. At the end of the class, I handed them out photocopies of the hymn to Isis and spoke about the role of woman in ancient civilizations. Often considerably difficult symbols, or considerably different symbols, encompass similar concepts. If it wasn't for the headache, it would have been a perfect lesson.